Hey guys, welcome to the channel today. I want to take today as a show and tell day. So we are going to learn how to make probably, in my opinion, the best and the easiest, most cost expensive form of fire starter. Thing that's great about it is super easy to find the ingredients, super easy to create, and you'll get almost 5 minutes of steady continuous burn time out of it. So super beneficial thing to have, and what I recommend is if you don't already have one, get yourself an Altoids tin, because the Altoids tin is the best place for the lowly cotton ball fire starter. So I'm going to teach you how to make these today. What you're going to need is, and I've got this little tiny one just for ease of video here, is some Vaseline and some cotton balls. So let me pan down here and we'll start taking a look. Alrighty, so I've got my tray with a couple that I've already made for later, because we're going to go start a fire in a minute. So kind of what you're going to want to do, and you can kind of tailor this to your personal needs when it comes to the kind of fires you plan on setting and what kind of burn you want to get from them, and the amount of Vaseline you have on hand. So it is as simple as take your gloves, or if you would like to have some really nice moisturized skin, ignore the gloves. You're going to want to leave a section a little bit unused, just so you have a nice clean surface to start your fire with. Then you're just going to start by coating the outside of your cotton ball with petroleum jelly. And you're going to want to try to kind of wind it a little bit. It'll make it a little easier to store. And there's kind of two ways you can do it. Either, like I said, store them in an Altoids tin, or you can store it in a small plastic container, something like a retainer holder, for lack of a better term. But kind of what I'll do is take the sides and try to smooth it out so that when you're storing them, they are easier to keep, because these dudes will make one heck of a mess. So I will kind of shape it out like that, and that's kind of the end look you're going for the more streamlined version. So we'll do one more just so I can show you exactly what we're talking about here one more time. So you're going to want to try to stay in the teaspoon to tablespoon range. Getting a lot more than that is really just wasting the resource. So if you plan to make these, that's kind of the amount you want to go with. You don't really want to get super overloaded with the amount that you've got here. So I'm going to do one where I kind of coat the entire thing, so I can show you why it's a little more difficult if you coat the entire thing to get it to light. So here's one that is completely coated. And like I said, your approximate burn time out of one of these is roughly 5 minutes. So that is a really nice way, especially if you've got something that is a little more stubborn. You know, if you're trying to start a fire source maybe that is a little damp or isn't just super wanting to light, is really beneficial when you've got 5 minutes of nice, slow, even burn time. So we're going to put you on pause real quick, and we're going to go on a little adventure and take a trip to an undisclosed location to burn these things. All right, y'all, as you can see, we've moved to an undisclosed location, also known as my backyard. And what we're going to do is another reference to me being a girl dad. If you are a girl dad, then you know everything you own gets bedazzled. Yeah, that's nice, right? So what we're going to do is I'm going to simulate this as one of the other fire methods, because today we're not teaching how to start a fire. Today we're teaching how to make a fire starting device. So if you've got, you can do it with flint and steel. You can do it with a lighter if you have one. You can do it with strike-proof matches. I'm going to teach you how to make a strike match fire starter in one of the future episodes. So kind of what we're going to do, and we'll pan down again. As you can see, we have our tinder, and for this we're going to be using some really nice just pine straw, which would simulate a really great way to start a fire. Got my water right here for safety and whatnot. And what you would normally do would be put your steel and your flint right here and just start whacking away at it to get it started. But we're going to simulate that with this just so I can show you how this works. So if I can get a good light here, you'll see that it starts to burn, and as soon as it hits that petroleum, it really makes a nice, steady, even flame that just stays the entire time. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna light one of these immediately following, just so you can kind of get an idea. I caught a little bit of it on fire there, but it really takes away the need for anything else. Really, you just put this right kind of centered up on your kindling and your tinder that you want to go with. And notice how it's a nice, even flame. It's not burning up real big, and it's not just kind of going out. It's just a nice, steady flame, which is exactly what you're looking for. Because the other thing that's nice, if you happen to have a bedazzled stick lighter in your survival situation, you're not going to burn up your butane that you have in your stick lighter starting this. So there you go. You can see, and if you notice, the cotton ball is still burning just kind of steady right in the middle of this. And there you go. I mean, you're in a situation where you went from, hey, I'm freezing to death and I'm really hungry, to, okay, well, I may still be hungry, but at least I have a heat source. So you look at how quick that burned and how nice and even that's burning. That's about as good as you can ask for in terms of just a really nice, small fire. So let's take a look at just the element burning by itself. All right, so for anybody who's thinking, oh man, yeah, great, you had a bunch of dry stuff and you just lit it on fire and that was the whole deal. Maybe, but I'm gonna show you the how this thing handles just on its own here, if I can get it to light. All right, so this is the one that I made right at the beginning of the video. And the thing that you notice, and like I said in the last video, is this thing is just burning nice and steady. It's not flashing real hot, and it's just gonna stay nice and steady like this. So I'm also gonna light the other one, that is the one that is soaked with a little bit more petroleum jelly. And the thing you'll see, if I can get this one to actually light, is it also really slowly. You'll notice it will give you, like I said, you're looking at about 5 minutes worth of burn time out of this. So this is one of those things that, like I said, if you've got something that's a little more stubborn, will really be, because this stuff is soaked now. Oh, that one went out by me hitting it with the thing. But you can see what I was saying, that this stuff burns nice and steady. And this is pine straw that I just put out. I mean, you can see the big, you know, water spot over here. So you can see this stuff burns really nicely and nice and even. Let's see if I can get this one that I put out to light again. Sometimes, like I said, I don't necessarily like putting that much petroleum on it, and this is exactly why. It takes a lot more time to cure, and you find that it doesn't necessarily perform as described. So here you go. You can see this thing still burning really nicely. And what do you think we have into this? Maybe 5 cents at the most. So just a really great way to get a nice long-lasting heat source that it really, you know, in most situations is going to be super beneficial to getting you warm and getting your food cooked. And while we're out here in my beautiful undisclosed location, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about, I watched a video yesterday that kind of brought something to my attention, and it's something that you kind of see a lot right now. It's these videos of some people who are kind of in the same space that I am in terms of preparing for different situations and this and that. And what it is, it's videos of, you know, trains loaded with tanks and Humvees and helicopters flying over at low level and just going, look, something's going on. You know, these helicopters are flying over my house. Look how low they are. Okay, so let's break this down. As a guy who has done exactly that about 1,000 times, here's what I'm here to tell you. As a helicopter pilot, staying low, and if you watch my video about what's going on with Russia and them losing so many helicopters, and it's I'll link that video in the comments. Something we train as much as anything is staying as low as possible, because it minimizes our ability to get shot down, which pretty good. I don't want to get shot down. So that's one of those things we do quite a bit of. And America's where we train. I mean, you know, this is where our bases are. That's where these sorts of things happen. So we map these routes out where we can go fly around without hitting, you know, telephone towers or wires. And we fly these routes. So when you see helicopters flying over really low and really fast, don't worry. It's training. It's what we do all the time. It's good. So as far as these tanks and Humvees and, oh my gosh, they're getting ready to instill martial law and we're going to be putting these tanks in, New York City and all this stuff. Here's the deal. So these tanks get like 4 miles a gallon. 4 miles a gallon. An M1 Abrams has literally a jet engine that makes it run. How long do you think it would take a tank on a flatbed of a train to get from point A to point B versus how much money is it going to cost us to fuel that tank to get from point A to point B with jet fuel, no less? I think putting it on a train is probably, as a taxpayer, the way I would prefer to see it. So when you see these tanks on these flatbeds, they're just taking the tanks somewhere else for training, most likely. We've got a bunch of these big training centers in the United States. That's what they're for. So don't worry when you see these flatbed trucks and flatbed, train trailers, whatever you want to call them, with tanks on them and helicopters flying over and all things like that. It is literally not a bad thing. It's a good thing because it's the sound of freedom. So be happy to hear it and happy to see it. As usual, guys, please, comment if you have questions, or comment if there's anything that you want to discuss when it comes to my fire lighting apparatus today, or more than anything, if you could subscribe right down here in the corner of the video. There's going to be, a circle with my helicopter picture in it. If you could click that, it would really help me in terms of creating more content for you guys. So hope you got something out of this and have a great day.